What's going on, Nasteey Nation? Before we get into the video, I just want to let you guys know that I am currently running a giveaway for a brand new Blue Yeti microphone. All you have to do in order to have a chance to win this microphone is leave a like on the video, drop a comment down below saying anything whatsoever, does not have to be a specific keyword, and finally just make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. I wanted to feel this giveaway as kind of just a way to give back to you guys who have been supporting my channel lately and just give back to my community. So best of luck in the giveaway, and now let's get into the video. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many of you guys have been around my channel for a while, but for those of you guys who have been around for a while, you guys know that I have made a lot of videos in the past about tips and tricks for climbing and stuff like that, trying to help you become better at the game and help you climb a little bit more efficiently. As of more recently, I've been focusing on other stuff, more support related content and full game commentaries and stuff like that, but I wanted to go back to the basics. I wanted to let you guys in on some secrets, some tips and tricks that'll help you climb. Now, I know that videos for tips and tricks have been done over and over and over again. The reason that I wanted to make this video now is because as of recently, in the last 2 weeks or so, maybe a week and a half, I have accumulated over 300 LP. I went from, actually around 400 LP. I went from Diamond 2 to Grandmasters, about 220, 230 LP, all in a week and a half to 2 week span. And that is why I wanted to make this video, to help share with you guys these exact tips and tricks that I've been using to climb so successfully as of recently. As of always, if you guys do go on to enjoy this video, then be sure to leave a like on the video and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Without further ado though, let's get into the video. So the very first piece of advice that I'll offer is something that actually goes completely against everything that I have ever offered as advice in the past. In the past, I have always said that you should play 2 to 3 champions. And notice that I don't say just one champion, because in the past, I always thought one tricking a champion is very, very bad for you as a player. Because the way I always looked at it, if that champion that you are one tricking gets banned or picked, then you're pretty screwed. You're gonna have no other champion that you can play at that level, and without that champion, your one trick in your game and in your hands, you're just gonna lose the games. However, I picked up Rakan again after the buffs. I've been playing strictly Rakan, and that is how I've been able to climb. So my advice here isn't that you should one trick Rakan, but my advice is to stick to a very, very, very small champion pool. I'm talking probably 1 or 2 champions. I would say having 2 champions is probably better. I would admit that when I didn't have the chance to get Rakan, I was playing Nami more times than not, or if I got off-rolled, I was playing Zac. The main point here is I wasn't going away from my champion pool. I stuck with it. The reason that this is going to be beneficial is because the more time you invest into a champion, the more comfortable and familiar you are going to be with this champion. You're going to get more familiar with their damage output, their kill potential, how to lane, how to position well in team fights, how you can take objectives correctly, what your role is in objectives, what your role is on a team and in team fights, just all these different aspects of the champion, you're going to get a better grasp of the more time that you invest in a champion. So just to wrap up this piece of advice here, it isn't necessarily that you should one trick a champion, but rather keep to a very, very small champion pool. Continue to just grind the same champions over and over and over. You'll get better at those champions, and as I always like to say, it's better to be great at a few things than good at a lot of things. The next thing that I want to talk about is absolutely massively important, and that is you need to play confidently. Confidence is a huge part of League of Legends. I cannot stress this enough. If you have ranked anxiety, or if you just go into your games and you're not confident in your play, you feel like you're going to lose the game, you're doubting your team comp or your individual play or whatever it is, if you just go into a game with this kind of mentality, things are going to go very, very poorly for you. You need to be able to have confidence. You need to be able to trust your own individual skill. Something that I've been doing a lot recently, just to go back to my point that I've been playing a lot of Rakan. Recently, every time I get into a game and I have my flash up, I communicate to my team and I say, hey guys, listen, I got my flash up right now. I'm confident in my ability to make a play right now. Let's group up in the mid lane. Let's 5v5. Follow my lead. I will flash in. I'll make the play and we'll be able to win the game off of that. It's that confidence that I have to lead my team into making these plays. And if I wasn't this confident, I would be, maybe too anxious to pull the trigger. I'd be playing too passively, and then I would be letting the other team pressure us rather than us being the ones to apply pressure to them. So confidence is absolutely key. Now, the third piece of advice that I want to offer is going to kind of piggyback off of that last thing that I was just talking about. And aside from talking about confidence, I'm just going to talk about your mentality as a whole and how you need to keep a very positive mentality. Just being positive as a whole will actually make you play better. I can't stress this enough. If you are just having a bad day, if you have negative thoughts in your head, if you just are not focused on being positive, you're just going to be super down. You're not going to be looking at the big picture. It's always better to look at the big picture. Instead of looking at the negatives in the game, try to figure out the positives. Think to yourself, not, okay, how are we going to lose this game? Think, what can I do to help my team get back into this game? What is the play that I can make that's going to help my team? Okay, I've had a bad start so far. What can I do next to get me back into the game, to get my team back into the game? How can we begin to progress more as a team? That is what you want to focus on. Focus on having a positive mentality. So the second piece of advice and the third piece of advice that I'm offering here are all about your mentality. Make sure that you are being confident and make sure that you are remaining positive throughout your game. The fourth piece of advice that I'll offer is another really important one. And I don't want to say that one piece of advice is more important than another, but these are all like really, really important. This one has definitely been one of the most important ones for my personal experience climbing recently. And this piece of advice that I'm going to give you is to take breaks in between your games. Now, what it is that you decide to do in your break can differ from one person to another. Personally, I've done a bunch of different things to take when it comes to taking a break. Sometimes I just watch a YouTube video. Sometimes I listen to a podcast. Sometimes I just step away from my computer as a whole, maybe go hang out with some friends, maybe go eat some dinner. There's really so many different things that you can do. Maybe listen to some music, read a book. It doesn't have to be a super long activity, but just do something that gets your mind off of League. The reason that taking breaks is so important, and why it's something that works so well, is because your mindset needs to kind of reset after a game, especially when it comes to losing a game. If you lose a game of League of Legends, the last thing that you want to do is queue back up, because you're still going to be in that losing mentality. You're still going to have thoughts about the game that you were just in. If you just take a break from the game, you're going to completely forget about any past experiences that you had, and you'll come back into the game with a new mindset, a new mentality, and you'll be ready to win more games. And that's just absolutely massively important. So make sure that you don't just get into a really bad habit of getting back into the queue time and time again, game after game. Take breaks in between your games. It doesn't matter what you do. As I mentioned, there's a bunch of different things that I do. Find something that suits you. Find something that you enjoy that'll help you get your mind off the game and do that. And now finally, the last piece of advice that I'll offer here is probably the smallest one out of all the ones that I've mentioned on this or in this video, but it is still really, really important. And this piece of advice is to get rid of any distractions possible. Distractions can be a bunch of different things. For example, if you're hungry, that is a distraction, believe it or not. If you have your phone on your desk right next to you and your phone is getting notifications and lighting up, that is a distraction. If you're having a bad day and you have bad thoughts in your head, that's a distraction. It doesn't always necessarily have to be something visually distracting. It could be something in your head or something like that. Another really good example of a distraction is in-game chat. Sometimes people can get so wrapped up in typing or flaming and just trying to communicate with their teammates. Sometimes it's best to just give it a classic /mute all, completely remove any distractions from the game itself and focus on the actual game. Because at the end of the day, typing, unless you're trying to shot call or something like that, it's not productive. You want to stick to things that are being productive and completely get rid of any distractions possible. And that is why I do think that getting rid of distractions is one of the most important things that you can possibly do if you are looking to climb. Well, alright then, ladies and gentlemen, well, that is going to wrap up this video. As I mentioned, I know tips and tricks for climbing and stuff like that has been well overdone, but I wanted to make this video because I have had so much success recently. I'm not trying to brag. This isn't like an odd flex or anything like that. I'm simply just trying to translate why I've been having success recently, and hopefully you guys can have some success in your solo queue games and you can continue to climb up the ranked ladder as well. And as I did mention at the beginning of this video, if you did go on to enjoy it, make sure that you do leave a like on the video. It helps more than you guys actually understand. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. That will do it for me though. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.